trade recap video as this as well. So feel free to tune into that one to kind of go over kind of the trades that I took. And yeah, let's get started. I think it's good now. So 0 o'clock GMT, we'll get started. So start with the position I'm in. Talk about this during the weekend about the weekly recap. So in this trade right now, kind of just see what the price will do at this low area. We already dropped pretty impulsively. So what it's likely to do now is just forming a deeper correction, and then I'm fine kind of seeing how the price will move in this general area. Fine to hold the trade as well, and then looking to see we're just going to break out from this area here, and then if it's going to form continuation here, I'll be looking to get in this trade as well for the downside, because there's a lot of room for downside, lots of risk reward, so certainly a good trade to the lows. All right, so that's Kiwi CAD, Euro Kiwi really quick in this one, in these both as well. So looking to see what the price would do in this correction. I mentioned this in the trading outlook. Even if this kind of just correct itself and then hit my second trade for break even, I'm happy to take a break even, and then looking for another entry once this correction is over. Okay, because I still see the upside very promising, even just to the previous swing high area, but ultimately I see this kind of just potentially reverse all the way to the top. We're at the bottom of the higher time frame structure. I mentioned this in the recap video. So very keen to see how this structure will do in this upcoming week, and then can we just continue up this bullish momentum. So those two trades I'm in right now, the two pairs I'm in right now, and we'll see how those goes. Doing great after last week, nice moves. Yeah, hopefully you catch those as well, Richie. So let's go. So why don't we get started? I'll leave currency last. I'll go over just a few things that's on my watch list, and then we'll go from there. So let's look at gold. If gold is still on people's watch list still. Personally, if you just zoom out here, I mentioned about likely I want to see a larger kind of structure forming here. Right, we know that price has impulse down, larger correction, impulse down, larger correction, and then another large impulse down. So is this going to form something larger here? It looks like it, because this is very ascending like, right? Very ascending channel. And we could potentially see just a reversal coming down. And will it break this low, or will we just kind of form a larger structure? We'll see, but I think short-term wise, the short-term sell is probable. Okay, not necessarily this is all the structure we're going to see, and then we'll continue downside. But again, we'll just reevaluate kind of how the market will form if we break out here, and then once we hit the lows here, and then we can see a little bit more clearly. But personally, I won't be looking for the sell here. If I was going to look for a sell, larger structure develop would be more concrete enough, and then looking for the sell. That's gold. Silver, kind of same idea, is we're in this kind of larger, kind of expanding kind of structure, channel-like. Few swing highs, few swing lows, which is good. Price didn't continue break this previous low. Instead, we kind of just reverse push up and forming a correction here. So not as ascending as gold would be, but it's looking like it's a correction here. So will this correction kind of push up to the top here, third touch, top of the structure, and still looking for sell like this, or this is going to be just a reversal from this point forward and we're going to drop like this? Okay, so very keen to see what will happen here. The better setup, in my opinion, is if it can just kind of correct itself up to the top, and then top of this overall structure is very good kind of area to look for reversal price action, and then reversal to push the price lower. That's something I will be looking to capitalize if it forms like that. But like I said, it could still just move down from this point forward, and then we'll just see bearish into the commodities again. Good morning. Nice to see you. So that's silver. Natural gas, quickly jump to this one because I was talking about this last week when price was in this area. I was talking about either we're going to see a continuation and then pull it to the upside, or we're going to make one more move to the downside to the previous low. So this is where the price is at now. So very kind of looking to see what the price will do in this area. We know we've been moving very impulsively throughout this kind of a latest time frame, we see this impulsive move, corrective move, impulsive move, corrective move once more. And we're at this kind of bottom area where I mentioned this is kind of an area where price likely to react to this low. So is this forming a double bottom here? What does the lower time frame tells us? Look like it's a little bit consolidated. It's a little bit erratic. So I'm not going to just jump into something like this, but I would rather wait for a strong kind of bullish push out, preferably pushing out of this overall higher time frame kind of structure, and then looking for continuation, because higher time frame wise, it looks clean to further upside. Okay, it's just like how the price did earlier, and then we still see the upside after. Okay, so the upside looks more promising, but just a little bit more confirmation would be nice. So that's natural gas. No other commodity caught my eye. I know some of you guys may be looking at oil, but I'm not really seeing too much oil, except this was just like a short-term kind of a bull kind of continuation. But is this going to just continue higher? I doubt it. I more seem likely to form a larger kind of continuation correction to continue the upside, not just something small like this, because we already push up pretty impulsively during this period. Okay, so that's oil for next week or so. Still doesn't look too much to me. Not too interesting oil at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in this area. We're also approaching to kind of the previous kind of swing higher area as well. So looking to see if price going to get some sort of rejection here. Okay, so that's commodities. Let's jump into crypto really quick. Not much on crypto because mostly they're looking pretty bearish to me personally. Your thought on copper? Okay. Personally, I was originally looking for a sell here. I don't know if this was a while ago, but I was looking for structure and then kind of see what will happen to here for a reversal, but it didn't happen as price continued to move up in this kind of a bullish fashion. So nothing as of now. I'm not seeing too much in this area. Is it going to form a larger continuation to push the price? That's something what I would like to see, but if not, this is pretty consolidated price action. Maybe some short-term sell potential because of how much they already push up, so likely to correct itself in this way. Okay, so but nothing to me personally that shines in my attention, at least for copper. Now overextended, yeah, likely to overextend it, but I'm not really seeing much sell from where I'm standing, at least where the price is at the moment. So quickly go over a few crypto, not much because mostly they're looking pretty bearish to me. Okay, I'm just pointing out a few that I have kind of point out, circle out. So algo, you see we just kind of just this push up and then bearish reversal and then bearish kind of a flat continuation. So this looks like it can just continue down to the previous low. And that looks like mostly of the crypto. I'll go over a few. That same kind of action, bearish impulse, bearish correction, and we're just moving down in this kind of corrective fashion. Same idea, right? Kind of bullish flag, push down, another kind of correction, push down. Looks like it's another correction to push down. Very similar across the board, right? Similar kind of price action. So I'm not really looking to short cryptos. That's not really my plan. So let's go to Bitcoin, right? A lot of you guys are probably looking at Bitcoin. Remember when price was in this area, I talked about don't look for buys, right? Look for larger correction forming because we're reaching all-time high. This is the all-time high level. And again, not much movement is breaking above or any continuation. Even if right now this is what it's forming like, this is looking like we have a push down and then we have a reversal impulse. Is this a larger correction? Personally, I wouldn't even get involved in something like this because of higher time frame. We just moved so much massively. I just don't see this is all the correction to just continue upwards, right? I just likely to see just a larger correction. That's just I keep waiting for, right? And that's just a safer side to do because it's all probability. Sure, sometimes a small correction like this can just take off, but do you really want to get always get involved in a position like this where a lot of more other time it's just going to consolidate longer and then move more correctively, and you're just going to the trade's not going to go anywhere. You might just get a break even, or you might get tiny loss or tiny wins. But the key, in my opinion, is just waiting for what's going to happen here. Let it finish, let it correct, and then potentially have that confirmation break off on that level, and then more continuation once we break above the level, because that's going to be the final confirmation that we're going to continue to take off. No point trying to jump in here, guys. That's kind of how a lot of traders lose money, when they're just kind of jumping to this consolidation. They're not seeing what has already happened in the past, right? Even if as volatile as Bitcoin, every position that move up, it needs that long-term commitment correction. See how previously when Bitcoin dropped to very, very low, like 3,000 or so, and then you see this strong bullish push up. But afterwards, it just correct all this way and then push up once more. This is not even as big of a correction, but you see price bullish push up once more. Is it really likely to continue up this way without a solid correction? Personally, I don't think so. That's why I'm just going to be way more cautious, just waiting for something like this, a little bit more development from the price. Okay, so that goes with pretty much all the crypto that I'm seeing here. Okay, so wait for 30% retrace, anything like that, anything that's going to correct the price, right? Because it's just at this area where it's not showing really bullish kind of momentum to me. Okay, so that's all the crypto. Let's jump into the indices really quick. Go over the US ones. Still very biased for the sell. Nothing has changed, guys. I talk about this probably for more than 5-6 weeks already in terms of price action. Once we have been correcting in this area since like the beginning of November, it's just really corrective price action, right? So still nothing changes from my point of view. We're still looking for that confirmation bearish move and then continuation, right? This is the key area I'll be watching at. Price doesn't need to stay within the structure. It can just continue upwards, but it's at the top of this higher time frame structure, and then we still have lower time frame push down and then lower time frame confirmation. Or is it just going to straight up breaking off of this correction and continue downwards, right? A few possibilities, right? A few forecasts. Not looking for the buy. I don't see the buy attractive at all, right? This is the previous all-time top. Price is just very corrective, very consolidated, and even you can see ever since we have this push up from COVID, we're in this kind of a larger structure potentially. We can see more this reversal downside if we see a little bit more commitment, a little bit more momentum from the market, and expecting this kind of bearish price action coming into the price. Hello, hi. So let's continue. That's US, sorry, so Dow Jones. Let's go to S&P. Very similar price action once again. Same thing, kind of ascending channel. We're at the top now, right? Pretty much the swing top of this overall structure. So again, seeing what the price will react here. Very important here, as it's going to form a double top here on the recent top, and then we're at the all-time top now, right? And then very kind of corrective price action. So looking to see what the price will do. When Monday opens, when New York opens, are we going to get more bullish activity to just break out, or are we just going to get bullish reversal this point forward? And this week I'll be watching for something like this to potentially get involved in some of these indices, because they're just looking like they're ready to drop when we have the correct price action. Okay, so just waiting for that kind of corrective action. When it's finished, we're going to see the impulsive phrase, right? So same idea here. I'm just looking for some sort of correction finish and then looking for the bearish move. Nasdaq, very similar, but the other two a little bit better. But Nasdaq, same idea. We're at this pretty much all-time top, so double top here, and price again, very ascending like structure, very ascending channel like reversal, looking for potential kind of just bearish momentum to come in. Right? This is how price likes to move. When you see previous kind of price action, where price is moving in that kind of ascending formation very correctively, it's just building up for the momentum for the sell. Okay, so the key is just really understanding when you see these in the past, when you back test, when you learn from previous price action, can you kind of analysis or can you forecast these kind of moves before they happen? Okay, so that's about it for the indices. Quickly run through the European ones. Same thing, nothing much changed since my last weekly outlook. Just looking to see what we'll do in this area for German 30. Even a push up to the upside, double top here would be good for the sell, or just breaking out from here and continue downwards. So structurally, we're just in this overall kind of expanding structure. This is the previous double top, so I prefer price to get pushed up one more time and then reversal price action from this point. And Euro 50, very similar double top here, ascending nature, expanding structure, just looking to see price, can we get a reversal price action at this point forward. Trends 40, we're at this previous swing high now, so this is actually looking good. If it's just going to be more ascending in nature, and the more corrective it goes up in this way, the faster it will drop, right? This is a similar prime example of Kiwi Cat that I went over in the beginning, right? We understand that when price is in this kind of structure, when we know ascending in nature, once that correction is finished, you just a very strong probability you're just going to get that next sell, right? And that's just how the price move over and over again. Okay, so you just have to do a lot of back testing, a lot of journaling to really get that really just program in our head that we know there's a strong possibility for the sell, right? But confirmation would be waiting for the correction to finish, waiting for that first kind of bearish move down, first correction. That's all confirmation for us to look for that sell entries down. All right, so that's all indices for this week. Key ones is, again, the US ones. I'm looking to see if they give me that bearish opportunities. All right. Any question on those, guys? Let me know. If not, I'm just going to jump into currency now. So let me know if any questions. I'm 9 years old watching you. Wow, Joseph, good job. My bias on pounds. Yeah, I'm going to go over pound pairs very soon, pound yen, all that. I'll go over all those. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue with all the currency pairs. Let's start with Aussie dollar here. You'll know that my bias for the dollar pairs are still mostly bullish on the dollars, right? And latest price action has already given us some potential clues, okay? So let me just kind of zoom out here on a higher time frame, give you guys a kind of more of a higher time frame approach view. We know that this is the ascending channel. We had this first push down, correction, push down, and then we're all kind of waiting for what the price would do. This was actually a sell that I personally got in as well. Took a little bit profit, but you can see price we could not break the previous low, and then instead we're kind of just reverse push up from this point forward. However, latest price action, again, we're seeing this kind of ascending kind of channel formation. We're getting squeezed in terms of price action. We're hitting the previous kind of top, swing top, so double top kind of price action. And going down to lower time frame, how the price is reacting to it is pretty key important. Is that we had this ascending channel, we had this kind of smaller ascending channel, push down, push up. Is this going to be a structure here to continue downwards? Okay, because the price has been just corrective on this kind of time frame, the key, or sorry, the safest side I meant is really waiting for a little bit more commitment from the market, because even if you enter some sort of sell here, what if it bounce up from here and then just continue upwards and then still drop afterwards? The trade here would be a little bit short-lived. The sell, you can see that all these previous sell potential, they have potential, but they just didn't break out of structure. See, there was a sell here, there was a sell here. but they just didn't break all the structure because from a price action point of view, we know the correction isn't finished. So the safest side, like I said, is just really waiting for price to commit itself, waiting for that bearish push out, and then waiting for a confirmation correction outside of this larger kind of structure, and then get looking for entry orders and capitalize it to the downside. Okay, that's my approach for Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, like I said, very clean here, and I'll talk about Kiwi dollar because they're just as good. I think I still favor Kiwi dollar of all. Because it's very, very, very similar price action like Kiwi CAD that we just went over in the beginning, right? Price is in this overall ascending channel structure, super correctively, and you can see once again there's so many kind of the sell push down, but they couldn't break out of the structure at all. And as price continued to get squeezed up, this is kind of the first kind of a swing high point, and then we're finally seeing a little bit more kind of a bearish move down. This is all good for the price, but my personal opinion is same thing as Aussie dollar. You just want to wait for a confirmed kind of breakdown, confirmed correction. Same thing with Kiwi CAD because price can easily just kind of trickles down to the bottom here, bottom of this structure, and it just gets pushed up one more time, and you're just going to get trapped in this area and take an unnecessary loss. So the key is just waiting for a little bit more commitment, just like Aussie dollar here. The dollar has been weak, guys. We know that, right? We can see that in the dollar pairs, but that doesn't mean that all the, let's say, Aussie dollar or Kiwi dollar has to be weak because of Euro dollar is weak, right? We can see when I go over a couple of Aussie and Kiwi pairs, we can see that the Aussie Kiwi pairs are getting weaker. Okay, so we can see that from a price action point of view as well, but just need to be a little bit more precautious, right? The downside will happen, it's very likely to happen, a very strong high probability, but we just don't want to get we don't want to get trapped in the correction, right? We talk about we want to get capitalized in the trade when it's in the impulsive phase of the market, right? This is an impulse, this is a clear correction, this is the next impulse, right? So we know that, and from a higher time frame approach, we know this is a larger, higher time frame ascending channel, smaller ascending channel, smaller ascending channel. So the probability of this drop is really likely to happen, right? It's just like Kiwi CAD. It's not ready today. It might not ready for tomorrow, but it will be ready one day, and you just have to be prepared for this entry to happen, and you want to capitalize the sell, right? So that's Kiwi dollar. Okay, so still my favorite dollar pair to go into this week. Okay, what time would you wait? Any lower time frame, right? So any 1 hour, half a minute, 30 minutes, 50 minutes kind of time entry. The key is to obviously identify higher time frame bias, right? And then you go down to the lower time frame looking for possible entries, right? That's pretty much what it is for price action. Because when you do that, you maximize your risk reward greatly by entering on a lower time frame when you know the higher time frame kind of move. You know the higher time frame, you know that we're at a key area now, we can potentially see that reversal, right? But you enter on the lower time frame to maximize risk reward, right? So let's talk about Euro dollar a little bit. I remember last week when prices breaking up, some of you guys messaged me, hey, should we start buying now? I'm like, no, you gotta wait for a continuation correction, right? Don't just start buying because we break the previous top, right? You catch a lot of traders, inexperienced trader, hey, we're going up now, we're gonna buy. But look at what the price is doing already, right? It formed this kind of ascending channel, and then we formed this mini double top, and price is breaking down now, right? It's pretty much reversing already. So if we see a lower time frame correction here, I really see that price to just pretty much push right back into the pattern, because I've seen these kind of price action over and over again. Price pop to the upside, catch a lot of traders in here trying to look for buy, and then once all the buy positions are filled, we're seeing that sell strong momentum push the price all the way down there. Okay, because there's liquidity now, right? There's a lot more money in there now, right? So the bigger guys, they're looking for the sell. Okay, so price action wise, just waiting for a lower time frame here would be more ideal. But I personally won't be jumping into something sell like this. I personally will want to wait for price just pretty much confirm this reversal into back to this pattern, and then correctional structure to push the price down all the way down. let someone else jump into the sell trades, and then, even though you'll miss some pips here, but the safer side is for the price to commit itself right back into what we're seeing here. Okay. So still looking for me, like I said, still looking for a bearish move, right? But needs a lot more confirmation from this point forward. Bull trap at EU, yeah, that's kind of how I see it. How do you avoid fake breakout? Well, it's really just a little bit more back testing, right? You understand the nature of structures, you understand how a correction can form and how likely they're going to finish, right? What's the typical correction needs to be, right? A few swing highs, a few swing lows in order for it to finish, right? So pound dollar, I think most of you guys are still watching pound dollar, myself included. We're at this pretty much double top now. Price is pretty much forming this larger M style pattern that I talk about all the time. And look how corrective this price action has been. We had this push down from there, larger correction, and then it leads to a more ascending kind of correction as well. Super corrective price action. So how do you kind of take from this? Well, going down to lower time frame, in my opinion, because there were so many kind of sell setups that really didn't work out, right? You can see there was a lot of these small impulsive move on the lower time frame, small correctional phrase, and looking for the potential continuation. But really, none of them work out, right? So that's a good sign from the market that once the price is still in this correction, it can just go on forever. So why get trapped in this consolidation area? Personally, just waiting for a breakout from the correction would be nicer, right? Because that's a confirmation that we're out of the structure now. So we're likely to advance to the bottom of the higher time frame structure, and then kind of reevaluate when price gets to this area, and then to see if there's more continuation to downside. I personally wouldn't want to get trapped in this area because there was a lot of trappy kind of sell setup in my opinion already. So why be a little more careful? The fake breakout that you just mentioned. Well, no fake breakout if I just wait for the confirmation correction here, so there's no fake breakout for me, right? Because even if price just breaks out this trend line a little bit, I'm not going to jump into the sell, right? It's how the price action develop that will give me the more clues. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I see on GU. Okay, so pound dollar. Let's jump into a few other dollar pair that could shape up to something. So I'm still liking dollar peso. I like how we're in this overall price action. We had this kind of a channel structure, and prices kind of just pushed down and they're getting squeezed in this kind of a falling wedge pattern. Okay, and I like when price is getting squeezed in this kind of formation because it's just getting ready for the next big push up. Okay, it's similar like what we have seen in the past, right? You can see that there was a descending channel, and then you can see that there was a descending channel within the descending channel, and then we had this bullish push up to the upside. So similar thing can happen here in my opinion, but you need to wait for a little bit more confirmation. Is just waiting for a strong lower time frame breakout, right? Small lower time frame correction to continue the price all the way to the top. So this will give me that bias of the dollar strength as well personally, and just seeing if this, how long can price sustain like this? Not likely forever, right? Price can sustain correction for a long period of time, but once the correction finish, we're just going to see the next impulsive phrase, right? It's the same thing as if we just zoom out here on this was previous COVID time, right? When price was getting squeezed in this area, and then we had this massive push off on the upside, right? Yes, because that's from COVID, but price action, like I said, it kind of already tells you that that's going to happen, right, prior to happen. So the key, like I mentioned earlier, is really understand how price action works and really anticipate the next phase of the market condition, and you're trying to capitalize on it. Okay. Dollar Singapore dollar. So this one I was looking for long. I made a post by accident, put a short here, but the point is looking for a long, of course, similar as dollar strength here. So we break the previous low. We break the previous low correctively low. That's the key here, is price is in this descending channel. Very similar like dollar peso or a couple of the dollar pairs that we have seen. Price is corrective in this area. And Likely can correct a little bit longer, or likely can just push up. But the point is, when the correction is over, when you see this correction is over, when we see the bullish push up from there, you want to be able to look for that continuation. You want to capitalize on it essentially, because you know that it took price this short amount of time to push all the way up to the top from the COVID, and it takes this much longer for the price to correct itself all the way to the bottom now. But again, price action, we're seeing similar things, right? If we zoom back to what price has been shaping up to, we're seeing a similar structure here. It's just whether in different size or different formation, but we're seeing that, right? Before the COVID, we see the push up, we see a correction here, and then we see another push up. So right back to where we started, we had this descending channel. So looking for that push up on the lower time frame would be very ideal for continuation. Okay, so that's dollar, Singapore dollar. These are the more of my favorite ones, kind of going to the week. Waiting is good, yeah. US dollar bottom maybe 0.9 for now. Personally, this is what I see on dollar index. Because we pretty much aggressively break this previous low now, so there is really only two options now. Either we're going to see a small correctional structure here, and then potentially this is going downside more. Okay, that would make euro dollar going up, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean all the dollar pairs will go with it. Okay, that's what I was trying to say. However, there's still a small chance, to be honest, and I've seen these over and over again in the prices that look what price is doing. At least this latest bit of price action, we're actually forming a double bottom on a lower reason time frame, right? This is clearly a double bottom kind of push up. We have not seen that ever really from the price action, right? We have some not double bottom because price couldn't break the previous high, so they're not really double bottom unless they can break the previous high. So that's really what I'm seeing here. So who knows what can happen on Monday morning? We just start bullish push up. That's one possibility, right? But if looking for dollar's weakness, then like I said, is waiting for a structure here for the sell, right? Because we already break the previous low. Okay, but you just have to be prepared for any kind of potential scenarios, right? This is why I talk about forecasting is super important. So break the low, one possibility, forming a correction, we're going downside, right? That's a likely scenario, but you also have to understand that there's a scenario that where we can just see price bullish push up, and then form correction, we'll start just going to a full dollar strength now, right? Catching kind of a lot of trader thinking dollar is going to get weak more, and then boom, we'll start getting the bullish activity this point forward. Okay, and structurally, we're just evolving into a more of a expanding structure now from this structure here, and we're just seeing an expanding structure, and once price pushed up to the bullish upside, and then still looking for a previous top for the sell, because overall we're still in this kind of bearish kind of environment. Okay, so those are a few possibility forecasts in my personal opinion, but like I said, a couple other dollar pairs that I'm looking at is Aussie dollar or Kiwi dollar. Those looks a little bit more promising than a few of the other dollar pairs where it needs a little bit more development. Look, squeeze as well, trap. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD is very good for further downside. I'll show you. I'll go over this really quick. So Aussie CAD, we know that when we squeeze out here, or squeeze out, when we look up on a higher time frame, this is the previous top kind of area, and this price is pretty much reacting to this. It's like pretty much acting as a triple top or quadruple top, so to speak, and price is not really breaking above to it, right? And we can see that this is a larger kind of expanding channel, and this looks like a kind of a slanted head and shoulder pattern, but we did break out the structure, which is good. So the key here, like I said, is a lower time frame correction. Whatever the size or structure that's going to build here, looking for a lower time frame correction to push the price lower. Okay, I do see this very similar like Kiwi CAD. Kiwi CAD had a way better price action than Aussie CAD when the drop happened, but nevertheless, we broke out the structure. We broke out the right shoulder from the head and shoulder pattern. So a correction here would be very ideal to continue to the downside. Okay, so that's Aussie CAD. I think Aussie CAD looks good, just like Kiwi CAD as well. But obviously, when they happen, you just want to focus on one or two. You don't want to jump into all the Aussie pair or all the Aussie or Kiwi pair instead. So, let's talk about Aussie Swiss. Aussie Swiss. Remember, this was a trade I was in last week that got off for break even. That's in my trade recap video. But how I see Aussie Swiss here is still more downside. There's nothing changed in my opinion from a structure point of view. We had this reversal kind of structure. Price did push down from this point forward, right? So in my opinion, lower time frame correction here is just as valid as currently. But is this a correction here, or is this a larger correction? We may make one more push to the upside before the downside. It's a little bit hard to tell. When the structure was here, when I was looking for a sell here, it was really clean. I had an entry order here, right? We broke all of this expanding structure, and then we had this head and shoulder pattern, and then bearish impulse out of the structure, bearish continuation, and then but price couldn't break the previous low. So from experience, it's just likely to form a larger structure, but still continue the downside in my opinion. This one, along with Euro Aussie, very similar, obviously. So obviously, if you're looking for one, just choose one to possibly capitalize on. Yeah, I'm gonna go over Euro Aussie afterwards. So Aussie Kiwi is actually really clean. So this is actually one that because I'm in a few Kiwi pairs already, and I didn't want to, get into more Kiwi pairs, but Aussie Kiwi definitely is a clean buy in my opinion. There was actually a buy setup in my opinion. Here was a potential buy setup, or here is a potential buy setup. So I'm not sure any of you guys got them, but it's already been moving up now, which is good, right? We know that price has been pushing up once we broke out this descending kind of wedge kind of structure. So finally, price breaks out. So what you want to look for is more continuation, right? More continuation, maybe the size of something like this now. So a little bit more tangible, a little bit more structure, but this is definitely going to the upside, at least to the previous top. It looks very clean for potential even break above this high. So I'll look to capitalize on this as, weeks or months to come, but this can be just the beginning of the first price action, right? We pretty much were at the previous low. We're breaking out now. So any kind of lower time frame, larger correction here would be ideal to push the price all the way to the top. Looks very clean in my opinion. So let's continue to think CAD Yen. Yeah, let's talk about CAD Yen really quick. I do want to talk about CAD Yen as well. I think some of you guys are looking at CAD Yen. One of you guys in the group mentioned about CAD Yen can go both ways, and I actually absolutely agree with it. This is key about how we trade is that we don't need to guess where the price is likely to go. Okay, all you have to do is just kind of prepare what the price is likely to do. So we can see that price is in this larger kind of a structure area. We have a few swing low and swing high. We're seeing price is reaching to the previous top now. This is pretty much the previous top area. There's the two options, and exactly like you said, is if we continue just breaking above this high now and then form a correction here, then yeah, we're definitely looking for a buy, because this is a structure we broke out, and this is a confirmation correction, and we're looking for the upside. Whereas if we just continue price more correctively to the top and then form reversal price action to push the price down, and certainly looking for more reversal opportunities from the top is also very good, and I absolutely agree with that as well. Personally, and that's why I'm saying that don't need to guess where the price is going, right? Let the price come to you, let the market develop a little bit longer, and then you don't need to marry to your analysis. You don't need to be like, well, I'm looking for a buy. So if I see sell price action, I'm not even going to admit that it's a sell, right? That's just how I see a lot of new traders fall into this trap where they think they have to be right? They have to be right on their analysis. They have to be, they have an ego because they feel like, their forecast didn't work out the way they wanted. They feel like it hurts them. It doesn't. That's not how it works, guys. Right? So have a neutral kind of mindset. Wait to see what price will do in this area, and then if it's going to go down, let it push down first. That's the first confirmation. First confirmation. Afterwards, second confirmation. Wait for correction and look for the sell. Right? And if price continue to go up, form correction here, and continue upwards. Right? So don't need to, have a bias right away if it's not showing you. Let the market develop a little bit longer, and you have more confirmation from the top, right? So that's CAD Yen, okay? Still looking pretty clean in my opinion. But personally, I would prefer the downside more. If I see a little bit more reversal price action, more bearish price action, I would like to see the sell more, all right? Let's go on to Kiwi Yen. So Kiwi Yen, we're pretty much looking very similar like other Kiwi pairs as well now. We're at this previous swing high area, so double top once again. And price is rather very corrective in this area. We see this kind of ascending channel. We see this push down from the price. And are we forming a correction here? It's very likely we are. And this is actually going to be a very good clean sell. Okay, and again, if I'm not in these Kiwi pairs, I probably would be looking for this sell as well. We know every time when price is reaching to the top area, we're likely to get the reversal, okay? And zooming in on the higher time frame, even if this continued to going up, but this is very corrective price action, similar like what we've seen on most of the Kiwi pairs. And this lower time frame push down followed by a lower time frame correction, I think this is a very key area where if we're going to see Kiwi weakness, we're going to see it now, all right? So liking the price action again, double top this area, okay, a very strong area where we're just seeing price is very corrective. This is not an impulsive phrase anymore. If we're moving up in this ascending kind of style, and we have this push down followed by a lower time frame correction, I do see this more as a continuation to the downside. All right, so it's Kiwi Yen. Let's talk about Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie, I think it's on a lot of you guys just watch this, and personally it's on Maya as well, and I'm just looking for a little bit more development. Very similar like Aussie Swiss that we just went over, right? But it's pretty much inverse correlated. We finally see this structure breakout, right? I talk about when we zoom out a little bit here, we know we're in this higher time frame channel structure, and ultimately is looking for this larger channel to finish and looking for more downside. Excuse me. However, when I start seeing channel like this, when I start seeing more of a reversal neutral channel structure, you can see that there's a few swing highs, few swing lows, and price actually had this bullish push up from the bottom, bullish continuation, another push up, another continuation push up. So here is pretty much a crucial area in my opinion is, are we going to form a structure here? Are we going to form a continuation correction and we'll continue pushing the price to the previous top? That is definitely what I want to see because this will make sense from a structure point of view if this move all the way to the top, but from a higher time frame approach, this is still one big impulse. This is a larger correction. We are at the top again and still looking for a sell from the top. Okay, but I do, from a lower time frame approach, I do see another push up is necessary from the market. All right, so that's Euro Aussie. Let's go over Euro Pound. Euro Pound's looking good. Euro Pound's looking good as well. Looking for a potential up move. So let's take a look at this one. We know that from a higher time frame approach, I've been talking about this when the structure is in this sideways consolidation, more like an expanding parallel channel structure. Price is likely to moving very corrective within. And lower time frame wise, it just doesn't get more cleaner than this in my opinion. We had this descending channel, price push to the upside, and then a larger descending channel, and right back to the bottom, push up, correction, push up again out of this channel here. So this correction, in my opinion, is super important. Okay, it's super important because I'm likely to see this bullish push up to the previous high, and then looking for some sort of reversal from the top of the structure and still looking for the sell, right? That's why from a price action point of view, we just see you just have to complete this overall larger structure. Okay, it still has to move one more side to the upside. and then from the top here, we're looking for the sell. Okay, so this week, keep an eye on attention to what will happen in the structure here. This is key here, in my opinion. Is it going to complete a continuation correction? We're just going to see upside more. Very keen to see on this one. This likely will be a trade I'd like to get involved if I deem this correction is finished here. Okay, so that's Euro Pound. Euro Kiwi, talk about this in the beginning, talk about this in the trade outlook. Still looking for upside, of course. Currently in 2 of these trades, looking to see if this correction will finish and we're just going to get a next bullish push up. All right, and I mentioned in the beginning of this stream as well, even if this corrects itself all the way to the bottom, my second trade is already at break even and just waiting to see the next bullish push up from here forward. I will re-get into this position if this correction is finished. All right, from a higher time frame approach is, again, because we're at the very bottom of this overall channel now, we've been dropping very correctively in this descending channel. It's unlikely price is going to drop down more further. Remember when price is in the area, I remember some of you guys asked me, thinking Euro Kiwi is going down more and more and more. Then I said, well, you have to, if it's going down more and more, it's like same thing as dollar index, is that it has to drop down more and then form a correction to continue. If not, then you're preparing to see more reversal price action. So this time, this is what happened to Euro Kiwi, right? So we'll see what happened to the dollar pairs, right? If that's going to be a reversal from them. So again, Euro Kiwi, if you're not in this one, I would wait for what correction here is going to be. If it's looking to complete as a channel structure, then set an entry order would be nice to the previous top. Okay. So it's not much here. Was originally looking for price breakdown from here and then looking for a lower time frame, but looking like it's reversed to the top now. So no more interesting in this as of the moment. Kiwi Cat went over this in the beginning as well, right? So everything. Not looking for just a small correction here to get in if you're not in this trade yet, okay? What it's likely to do is actually forming a larger structure here. So your smaller entries or smaller stop loss may get tagged out and then still continue downside. The safer side, in my opinion, is actually waiting for price to just break the previous low, like I mentioned, and waiting for a correction after it break the low would be the safer entry for me, for others, in my opinion. Okay. So that's Kiwi CAD. Kiwi Swiss. So Kiwi Swiss looks really clean. It's very invert like Euro Kiwi, right? So we break down from the top, right? And it's looked really clean now. If I wasn't in Euro Kiwi, I would get into this one. There was a correction here. We pushed down. So let it to see what the price would do at this previous low. Again, if it breaks previous low, form another correction, then you have all this downside to work with as well. So I think it's very clean. Very similar like Euro Kiwi, there was a clean correction here, in my opinion. That was a correction that we broke down from this top, right? So we had this ascending channel, we had this kind of neutral channel, we had the first push down, first correction, and then push down more from this point forward. Okay. So last one I'll go over, I think it's Pound Swiss. I just want to double check here on all the other pound pairs. Yeah, Pound Swiss is the only one I want to go over because I do see potential of continuation. One person pointed this out as well. Remember, we're seeing this inverse head and shoulder pattern, right? Sorry, not inverse. Sorry, guys. I meant head and shoulder pattern. It's a slanted head and shoulder. I meant to say slanted. I don't know why I said inverse. So I see a more slanted head and shoulder pattern. We break the previous low, a bearish impulse down, and then potentially we're looking like it's forming a correction here. If we zoom out here on the higher time frame, there's still a lot of room, in my opinion, to the downside. So still looking for a bearish continuation if it can form here. Could be developed into something this upcoming day or so. This potentially can be the next move down to the bottom, and then kind of just reevaluate, are we going to see reversal at this point forward, because we're still in this higher time frame structure. Okay, you have to understand we're still in this higher time frame structure, so even this bearish push to the downside, there's still a reversal that can happen in a later time. Okay. overextended M. So that is it, guys. That is all the ones I'm looking at for this week coming up. Any questions, guys? Any questions on any pairs that I just went over, or anything that you want me to go over more in detail? If you're joining me the first time, guys, make sure to join my Telegram. This is where I upload all my live links, education things, and analysis. They're all on my YouTube channel as well, if you guys are interested. I develop them into playlists and videos, so you can check out a lot more price action stuff, because a lot of you guys asked me to do that. So it's all on YouTube. Okay, so feel free to look at those. If you have any questions, let me know, guys. Pound dollar, sure. So thank you so much, Business Beyond. Nice to see you. So pound dollar, in my opinion, we're at this reason double top now. Okay, so price is somewhat reactive to this area, you can see, but we're still in this larger ascending channel. And this is what I mentioned in the beginning when I went over pound dollar, is that I don't like it when you see there's a lot of these sell setups that just didn't break the previous low, or I mean didn't break out of this larger structure. And I don't like to trade any sells now once I see that price is corrected in this channel. It's clearly that we're in the correction. It's clearly that we don't know for sure that this is going to move down on the next one or the next one. So don't want to get trapped in this area. I want to wait for the first breakout from here, first correction to take it low. I just see enough of these price action where it's not going anywhere, and a lot of people are just getting tagged in and tagged out. It's the same thing as Kiwi Dollar, right? When price was in this overall structure, or even all the way since then. We know we're going to see the downside a lot more probable. We know we want to look for the downside, but it's not ready now, it's not ready later. We don't want to jump in. It's the same as pound dollar here, is just waiting for the breakout. You can see that on Kiwi Dollar, the breakout actually happened after a correction, and then that actually plays out, right? So there's a high probability that it's going to play out on pound dollar, right? Waiting for that breakout, waiting for a correction to move down. Kiwi Dollar, similar idea, right? Push out, pulling for a correction, push down, right? It's just that they're not all going to happen at the same time, right? But they likely to happen, right? Trading is not right and wrong. I talk about this a lot. Okay, trading is not right and wrong, it's probability, right? So it's all about you executing a trade, fits your plan, fits everything that you wanted to, right? So waiting for breakout retest, yeah, something like that. Breakout or continuation correction, either way. Pound Kiwi, higher time frame, sure. Pound Kiwi. I know some of you guys may be looking for a buy. Personally, that's what I've been seeing, at least from the group. This is a descending channel. That's kind of maybe what you guys are looking at, and then potentially pushed up. I think that's what you guys are looking at. The reason why this wasn't even in my kind of watch list or anything is just because we're at this very bottom of this structure now. Okay, well, we know that from a higher time frame approach, we've been dropping a lot, right? And it makes sense for this to continue upwards from an overextended point of view. But I'm just not seeing too much right now. Okay, I'm not really seeing much right now on the lower time frame, and on the higher time frame, all I see is this kind of descending channel. And we're breaking the previous low, which is good. This is what we want to see. Break the previous low, double bottom, and then looking for potential bullish opportunity. But lower time frame wise, I'm not really seeing much. This kind of just retrace back down. Is it forming a continuation? If this breaks above and there was a correction, that would be much better. But I'm not seeing that yet. I'm not seeing that much so far on the lower time frame. And then higher time frame, like I said, this is all I see at the moment. Okay, so I just think there's other better Kiwi pairs to get involved in for potential Kiwi weakness, like Kiwi CAD, Euro Kiwi, Kiwi Dollar. I think they all look, or Aussie Kiwi for that matter, was much better Kiwi pairs to go on Kiwi weakness rather than this one. Okay, that's just my personal opinion on it. What else? Can you explain London spread hour significant between 9 to 11 London time? Yeah, this just happens every time when there's a rollover in the day, Richie. Every day during that time when the market, there's a 1 hour of rollover for all the brokers, right? So pretty much you want to try to avoid having an entry position, like an entry order during that period of time, because you're likely to get tagged in during the spread hours and the spread is high. So for example, if you enter a trade that's supposed to be only 1 or 2 spread, it becomes 5 or 6 maybe, or depending on that exact moment of the spread on that pair. You might just get tagged in and you might just get right away in a pretty significant loss when your order is triggered. So you don't want to have entry order open during the spread hours. You can put them back on afterwards, but you shouldn't have them on in the last that period that you just mentioned there. Okay, because I personally had an experience when that happened years ago when a position got triggered. I think it was Aussie Kiwi. Aussie Kiwi is super spread during the spread hours, like 10, 15 spreads, and my stop loss was like 25 or 30. This is like beginning of my career. For pending order, yeah, if you have open position, no problem, right? You just watch out your stop loss. Is it very close to the price? Because sometimes it's too close, you might tag you out, and then but the actual move wasn't just because of the spread that tagged you out. It's not because of the move, right? So just be careful if you have a position in. If you have your stop loss pretty close to the current price, you want to be careful for that, right? Do you personally trade gold? Yes, I do. I can trade gold. I'm in Canada. I know you. I know in US you cannot, at least not for CFD. You can trade gold maybe as an ETF or buy some stocks that's related to gold. But in Canada, we're allowed to trade gold as a CFD. Okay, so I can trade gold if I want to. Yeah. So, any other question, guys? I think we went over everything here. Any other pairs that you guys are looking at? Like I said, if I don't get to it, ask me in my Telegram or ask me on my YouTube. That's why I post all those on there. So it's good to interact. What is my current trade stance on gold? Went over this earlier. Would like to see a larger structure here in development. Because we pushed down so much already, this is one big impulsive phrase. After a big impulsive phrase, we usually see a period consolidation phrase. So this can just move down and then move up and then move down once more, something like this, and then potentially just forming a larger structure of itself to correct all this move, and then we're potentially moving downside. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not really looking for the sell here. I think the sell is pretty short-lived. I'd rather to see what the price will do here when it hit the lows. Is it going to bounce up reversely, or is it going to break off from that point forward? All right, that's what I see on gold. Great market summary. Thanks. No problem, Richie. So that's about it, guys. So make sure you add me on Telegram or YouTube, and then you can interact me on here in the future. Okay. So I will chat with you guys next time. I will make another daily outlook starting on Monday or Tuesday, So I'll post that link in the Telegram channel. All right. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning into this one, and chat with you guys next time. And nice to see you guys once again. Thank you very much.